Hello? I can't hear anything. Hello? 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 I can't hear anything, Judge.
Conflict between grandma and her.
All right, you want to raise your, do you solemnly, right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony? And was there a MIC evaluation? Did I have parties announced, please?
Representing for the state of Texas.
Denny Callahan defense.
And are you Vanessa Mirivete?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You entered a plea to injury to the elderly according to your plea bargain agreement.
Okay, wait. Did anyone else catch that unmuted mic moment? That idiot line came in hot. Either someone forgot they were on Zoom, or they're about to get a crash course in contempt of court. Quick reminder, when you're in a courtroom, even virtually, mics pick up everything. Talk trash, get thrashed.
The state is silent on your application. And there's an affirmative finding of family violence, and this is run concurrent with a county court cause number. All right, are there any witnesses, defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear your argument.
Your Honor, asks the court to take notice of the jail classification. Its weakness, of course, is that it's self-reported, but it corroborates to some degree what the MIC evaluation says. In the past, she's had mental illness problems, and less so now. And the number 2 point, Your Honor, is that the complainant in this case, in both cases, misdemeanor, your court, not interested in.
Let's break that down. Affirmative finding of family violence isn't just a throwaway legal term. It means the court has officially recognized that abuse happened. And that has major consequences. It can affect custody rights, firearm possession, and future sentencing. This isn't just a slap on the wrist. This sticks.
Hurting this woman, she filed on prosecution, but there was a damage made by glass broken up against her eyes, so there was damage. She's remorseful for that. Her plan is to live with a 35-year-old friend of hers that she's known for a couple of years. There's no more contact between the boyfriend and the complainant, who is the boyfriend's grandmother. That's finished, that's over. And she doesn't plan to return to that. I asked the court to consider deferred adjudication with some type of supervision regarding where she's going to live. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, so let me understand this. So the facts of this case are that the elderly person was in an argument with her grandson. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor, the other way. The
It says
grandmother
it said she had been arguing with her grandson and the suspect got involved.
Oh, prior to that, yes, Your Honor. But the real issue was conflict between grandma and her.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Vanessa Mirivete.
All right, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Louder.
Vanessa Mirivete.
All right, so what is your relationship to the victim in this case?
There's no relationship anymore. I was with her grandson.
All right, so you, and how old are you?
24.
24. And how old is the grandson?
He just turned 20 in January.
All right, and you were living with her?
I was living there for about 5 or 6 years
You were living with her?
with her and the grandson.
All right, but that's her house, right?
Yeah.
It's not the grandson's house. So you come in and you live with the grandmother and the grandson.
Yeah.
And then she gets into an argument with her grandson.
Mhm.
And what was that argument about?
I don't remember the exact details due to the fact that
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I don't remember the exact details.
Here's where the situation really starts to get messy. You've got a 24-year-old girlfriend, a 20-year-old boyfriend, and both are living in grandma's house. Let me ask you, how many red flags does it take before someone starts waving the white one? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think crossed the line first?
because I was under the influence.
Under the influence of what?
Xanax.
All right.
Talking to my face.
So she's in an argument with her grandson, and then what do you do?
So I was, I guess, like in the middle, I guess. There was a lot of things going on due to like a lot of abuse.
You have said some things, but you haven't told me anything. So,
Yeah, Your Honor, how
Yeah.
did she get hurt?
So I got pushed into her.
no, that's not what this says. Because if you were just pushed into her, then maybe you need a jury trial. If you're saying you were just pushed into her. But that's not what it says. In the police report, it says, while on patrol in a marked vehicle, I was dispatched to the listed location for an assault in progress. The caller stated his brother and the girlfriend were arguing, and the girlfriend hit the grandmother. The caller stated the grandmother was bleeding from her head and nose. I arrived to the listed location and saw both victim 1 and O1 sitting outside on the porch. Victim 1 had visible injuries on her face and head. Victim had a small cut on the bridge of her nose, which was still bleeding. Victim had a small cut on the top of her head that was covered in blood. Victim also had a lump on the right side of her head. Victim said she had been arguing with her grandson. Victim said she had been arguing with her grandson, and the suspect got involved and began to argue with her. Victim said she doesn't remember how or what she was hit with, but the suspect walked up to her and hit her. O1 said suspect had threatened to beat up the victim before. So unless you were on Xanax all the time you were at that house?
I was on Xanax for the last 2 years that I've been there.
This is a pivotal moment. She admits she's been on Xanax for 2 years, and it's not hard to connect the dots. Substance abuse is often both a symptom and a cause in volatile relationships. But here's the legal twist. Being under the influence doesn't absolve you from criminal liability. In fact, it can complicate your defense.
All right. Is there anything else?
Moment, please, Your Honor. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So why were you not living with your parents?
So, and,
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
so I'm from Wisconsin and moved like 4 to 5.
You're from the what?
From Wisconsin.
Okay.
And so I moved in with him, and I was living with him basically for both of them because
Did you have a job?
no,
How long have you been unemployed?
since I got with her grandson
And how long has that been?
about 6 years ago, 5.
So 6 years you have been unemployed. So why did you leave Wisconsin to hook your life to this person?
It's just being young.
Because your parents said they didn't like him or something, and you decided to do it anyway?
No, I just, my parents was approved, but at the time,
And how old were you when you met him?
so I was 16, but I didn't start a relationship until I was 18. Like about a week after I turned 18.
And how far did you go in school?
9th grade.
9th grade? Yeah. So it sounds to me like you were not listening to your parents. Did your parents want you to get your degree or no?
They did. So I was taking care of my mom. My mom is disabled, and so I was taking care of her, working at the time, and I had a part-time job going to school, and I was taking care of my mom, which she's disabled, and my little brother who's also with autism. So I felt like I had a lot on my plate, and so I chose to work instead of go to school.
And then you chose to leave them on their own because you wanted your own life?
Well, my mom had got married, and so she met her husband, which he still takes care of.
Mhm. All right, what is her criminal history?
No, I don't believe. A lot of
No felonies, Your Honor.
So the only history she has are just the two cases that have been before Your Honor, which is this injured elderly and then the concurrent misdemeanor.
Violation of protective order?
Yeah.
And is that with the same person?
Yes,
Yes,
with the same person, yes, Your Honor.
And when did that occur?
That occurred about a month after this took place.
Timeline check. The assault happened in November. The protective order violation came in December, and both involve the same victim. That's not just bad judgment. That's a pattern of behavior, and judges hate patterns, especially when they involve ignoring court order.
So she had
Your
a,
Honor, brief summary of those facts if you want.
well, what date was the violation of protective order, the offense date?
December 17, 2024. This happened November 27th.
All right. So you want to tell me about this violation of protective order?
So I never like been in trouble before, so I didn't realize like whenever I didn't know how the law worked basically.
Well, I mean, if somebody tells you, if you receive an order saying that you can't contact somebody, that's how the law works. The order says you can't contact them.
Yeah.
So continue.
So I had went to pack my stuff, and so I was getting ready to leave, and I guess the grandson had got mad that I was getting ready to leave because I was wanting to leave him too. I was with him for 6 years, on and off abusive relationship. So because I didn't really have family here in San Antonio, it was harder for me to like just walk away from the relationship.
All right. And what is this case about? The violation of protective order?
So essentially, the same victim in this injured elderly case had concerns that there were other people in the house she wasn't aware of. So she calls 911, police respond, she lets some kids in the house and they find this defendant hiding in the closet of her boyfriend's room. And she's removed from the
All right. So obviously you knew there was a protective order because otherwise you wouldn't be hiding in the closet.
Well, I was forced into the closet. The grandson had threatened me into going into the closet.
The story you're telling me makes absolutely no sense. You have a protective order that you're not supposed to be there. You go there anyway. And now you're saying that you were hiding in the closet because the boyfriend told you to hide in the closet.
Well, he was very abusive. He had weapons and things like that. So I was very afraid of him. My family could testify to the abuse as well. They had called the police on him multiple times before all this occurred.
And when they called the police on him before, what did you do? Did you do an affidavit of non-prosecution or say, my family is not telling the truth?
So they never gave me like the option or like explain that to me how the affidavits work or anything.
No, I mean, it's either you said yes or no, because times have changed. When the police are called out for an abusive situation, your attorney will tell you somebody's getting arrested.
Yeah. So
Now, after the
he would
fact,
get arrested, and
Mhm.
his sister would bail him out within like a few hours. So he would be home immediately like, after being arrested. So even when he had a protective order, the first time he got arrested, he was still back, and he was
because the protective order, the house you were staying in, that's not your house. That's his grandmother's house. You all are adults just decided to impose yourself on his grandmother. You're there, you don't have a job, and you're just living off the grandmother.
No.
And
I
now-
have income, still from my family.
No, you told me that you hadn't worked in 5 years or 6 years.
Yeah, so due to the relationship, I wasn't able to work, and I also didn't have, like, my birth certificate for a long time, so I had to get it sent out.
The contradictions are piling up faster than objections in a courtroom drama. First, she hasn't worked in 6 years. Then she says she had her own money. Then she blames not having. Her birth certificate? It's a whirlwind of excuses, and judges have zero patience for conflicting stories. If you're trying to build credibility, consistency is key.
Here's the thing. I don't even know if you understand what you're saying to me. You keep changing your story. You told me you didn't have employment, that you hadn't worked for 5 to 6 years. And then now you're telling me, no, I wasn't just living off the grandmother. I had my own money. No, you didn't. You hadn't been working. I mean, you're saying, but you're telling me completely different stories. And now you're telling me that you have a 35-year-old that you're going to live with. Who is this 35-year-old?
It's a friend of mine.
Who?
I don't know how to explain it. It's a friend of mine.
What's the name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer what?
Remorse.
And where did you meet her?
So me and her know each other through mutual friends, and then we met, I don't know, I guess like in the neighborhood and stuff.
I'm sorry, met what?
In the neighborhood, I guess, or everyone.
So you're just meeting people in the neighborhood and now you're going to live with them? Does she have any children? What are their ages?
23, she has a 23-year-old, a 15-year-old, and then she has one that I think is like 10 years old.
All right. So if I give you probation, I'm not allowing you to live in homes that have children in them. So, and do you know who all lives in that home other than her and the children?
No, it's just them.
Hmm?
It's just them.